The Muslims is up. If it's up and it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Oh, I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable. Hey, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. Already. Or is that how I'm gonna start already? Welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. It's actually Sunday evening. As I'm taping, it's Sunday evening for me, but I will be on the road this week. I will be on the road Wednesday when this comes out. I will be in New York City at the Village Underground, 6 p.m., doing the storytelling show, The Hike, as part of the New York Comedy Festival. And then Thursday through Saturday, I will be at the Punchline in Houston, Texas. If you haven't gotten your tickets for either of those shows and you want to come, please get your tickets. The details are, of course, in the link of this, the link is in the details of this podcast. And you can, of course, always go to my website, ZainabJohnson.com. So yeah, I will be traveling and, I wanted to be consistent, of course. And consistency isn't about me traveling or being busy. It's like, that's a part of this, right? But it is me prioritizing, me planning, and me managing my time. So I was like, oh, shoot. I ain't going to be able to do this on this day in this place, so let me do it now. With that being said, I hope that you guys have had a very reasonable, that is reasonable and Wednesday put together. I hope you guys have had a very reasonable week. I hope that you all have had a reasonable week thus far. Y'all see, y'all see I'm bare. Hair pulled all the way back, snatched into a tiny, tiny little bun. Let me just tell you, no wig. I'm probably going to bring a wig on the road with me just in case. I know that somebody's going to twist my hair when I get to Texas. But I don't know. I'm going to bring a wig just in case I feel like I want big hair as I travel. But this feels so freeing. Also, full disclosure, I got a slight bald spot. Slight bald spot. I think it's the TikTok wig. That's why when you do anything, you just got to let it sit you can't give the review on the first day. You can't give the review after hour. I was at the podiatrist. Great experience. I had a little cyst on my left foot, and I wasn't sure what it was. It came out of nowhere, and I was like, I'm gonna just wait. And then I waited like a week or two, and I was like, all right, it's not causing me any pain. It's not getting bigger or smaller, but it's still there, and that ain't a part of my foot. So I go to the doctor. I research. Y'all know I love Yelp. Did y'all know that? I use Yelp probably more than I use any other app, besides like GPS or something. But Yelp is my go-to, and I was looking for like a good podiatrist because I was seeing one and he just wasn't good. It's like, he was nice, but it's like, he was a recommendation from my general, doctor, and who is just okay. I love my OBGYN. I love my OBGYN, but everybody else, until this new podiatrist, they just be like, meh, and it's really hard to go to somebody when you like don't know something and you need help and you need like medical advice or like a diagnosis, prognosis, etc. And you just sitting in there like, meh. I mean, like, I guess I trust you. I feel like, do you know what you're talking about? Is this good care? Like, anywho, so I was doing a lot of Google searching, Yelp searching, whatever, and I found this podiatrist, and he had like amazing reviews, and he takes my insurance, and I was like, I'm gonna go see about this cyst. Yo, I went and saw about this cyst. First of all, he talked about a lot of other stuff. And so, I always be talking to every so often I casually mention how I got like hit by a drunk driver and I had this like, really traumatic and sort of like physical life altering like accident happened to me when I was like a teenager, right? And every time I've gone to the orthopedic doctor in like the recent past, they've always been like, oh, we'll do this. Like, they be like, honestly, they be old white guys, or they be they're the mentees of like, the mentees of like old white guys. They don't be listening. You know how many doctors I've had to yell at? I've had to look these seemingly accomplished men, old ass men, in their face and be like, "Fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you? Hold 1 second. Shut up for 1 second, please. Is that something is that in my insurance? Does my copay cover you shutting the fuck up? Y'all know when I tape at night, I be on one." Anywho, they kept suggesting this surgery to like correct, because I have like limited dorsiflexion in both my ankles, but in my left ankle, it's like none whatsoever. And I disguise it really well. But if you ever really pay close attention to me, you can tell like, oh, her walk is like slightly off. Like I make it look like the most elegant of the disabled, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely not as abled as it's supposed to be, right? Anyway, they all kept suggesting this same procedure, and I knew in my heart, I was like, I don't trust it. I know that's not right. I know that is not going to fix the problem, And so I went to this podiatrist for the cyst, right? But then he like, let me see you walk. Take off your shoes. Let me see you walk. And he was like, oh, interesting, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, now I would have said, and then he said all the surgery that everybody else, every other orthopedic doctor. Now, again, he's a podiatrist, but they're he's an orthopodiatrist, but I was going to see straight up like straight up orthopedic doctors. Like I'm talking about people in LA that is used to working on, I'm trying to get better with like speaking grammatically the way I write, which is more correct, but whatever. This is what they call African American English. It's like technically now it's a term. It's not called like Ebonics no more. It's like African American vernacular. Something like AAV, something like that. Anyway, they were orthopedic surgeons, so of course they suggested the surgery. It makes sense now that I'm saying it out loud. But he suggested the same. He was like, I would have suggested. He said, off of first thought, I would have suggested that. He was like, but you have drop foot. He was like, you have drop foot. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, yeah, you have drop foot. And that would have only made it much worse. You would have had to like pick up your left leg and like, you would have been, you know what I'm saying? You'd have been doing like a kind of 180. You would have been twirling your leg every time you took a step. He was like, that would have made it much worse. And I was like, well, is there anything else that this ain't got nothing to do with the cyst. I'm just trying to let y'all know. He was great. How did I get here? Oh my God. How did I get here? I'm not supposed to be here. I think I was talking about my hair. Was that it? Yes, reviews. Okay, now we back on track. Let me get back on track and then get past this, right? So, talking about the cyst, he was like, okay, let me tell you. He was like, yeah, I think it's just this type of cyst, blah, 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 blah. He was like, you don't have any pain. He was like, I'm happy you came in though. He was like, it might have took you a while to get pain. He said, but eventually, whether it took you a year or whatever, weeks or a year, it would have eventually got painful. So it's good that you're taking care of it early. And so he was like, but I got to just take an x-ray to make sure that it's not under the bone, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, long story short, this podiatrist ends up draining the cyst. Y'all, I thought it was going to be pussy because it's a cyst. It was like jelly. Yo, it was like jelly. It was the craziest. I was like, he was like, yeah, it's like, and he was doing like that, holding it in between his thing. He was like, see, it was just like a gel form. And it was a little bit pink because obviously like blood right there. And I was like, why is it not pus? He was like, well, pus is like, that's a bacteria infection. That's when something is wrong. You have an infection. He was like, this is just, he said, and they call it this when it's cysts, when it's any sort of growth on the body or in the body. When it happens, it commonly happens, but they have no explanation for it. I forget what it's called because what is it called? Anyway, y'all know the word. Put it in the comments. It's like, yeah, this is like it happens often. We treat it when it happens, but we don't know why it happens. It just happens in the body, probably stress, whether it's like physical stress or, whatever. Anyway, he drains it and then he shoots something in it to like sort of calm it down, like heal it, whatever. Anyway, it's been good. I was like, does it come back? He was like, it depends. He was like, it can come back. And he was like, this is the procedure. He said, typically we will drain it twice and then we'll look into surgical options if it comes back after we've drained it twice. And he was like, but hopefully that doesn't happen with you. Hopefully we remove it once and that's it, right? And I'm like, yeah, inshallah. People be saying, hopefully. I be in there like, inshallah. Whether I say it out loud or whether I say it in my mind, I be like, inshallah. And then he was like, I was like, okay, but if it does come back, like, when should I be looking for it? He was like, you know what? It could take a week, 2 weeks, 2 years. It could never come back. Let's hope it never comes back. And I'm like, so far it hasn't come back. Anyway, I was so relieved is the word by my experience with him. My appointment lived up to the hype of the reviews that I read about. I ain't really like his front of the house staff. The nurses, sometimes with nurses, like, whatever. I ain't even gonna get into all of that. But it's like I would have replaced. I could replace the whole front of that house with AI. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Not that I want to replace jobs with AI, but that particular front of house, I'm like, let's try a robot. Because what are you here for and you have a bad attitude? Let's try a robot. You're not doing nothing special and you have a bad attitude. Let's try a robot. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you interact with those humans and you be like, I mean, I'm good on you. Is this what the human interaction is like? Well, let's try something else, I don't want AI to be taking jobs, but you get what I'm saying. I'll take a whole nother group of nice nurses too. But I'm just saying, it's like I run into, especially in Los Angeles, I run into this particular type of nurse. And it's like, why you mad, sis? Because I got insurance? And like, because I got insurance? Like, it's like they be having like a jealousy almost that really sort of gets in the way of like their actual job and service. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't combat it with kindness because it's in their soul. Their heart is dark. And they just, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they got made up in their mind, this life is supposed to be. I guess some about me and maybe other people too sort of throws that into like a world and they can't, you know what I'm saying? And they forget like, oh, I'm at work and I can't, like I'm not on social media. This is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not at like a party. I'm not like in this, like I'm at work. Anyway, front of house, boo, but him. And so immediately when I got home, I was so satisfied and relieved that I almost wanted to write like an instant review on Yelp. And I was like, well, let me wait. Let me monitor my foot for a little while, right? And I've been monitoring my foot. I think it's been like 2 weeks now. And things looking good. Things looking great. And so I will leave a review now, but the same. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, my sister was like, you should leave a review for the wig. And I was like, But now, bald spot right here. But this is where on that wig, this is where like the comb be sitting. The comb it's like the bald spot is right where the comb be sitting. And to be fair to the TikTok shop wig, I don't really be, you know what I'm saying? I don't be that gentle. I just be, you know what I'm saying? It's probably me. Anyway, long story short, I had to give myself a break. And I washed my hair today and I was like, you know what? We got errands to run. Let's slick it back, put it in a bun and be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I put the product in it. I was curling it with the brush. And my hair is like bob length, right? My hair is like bob length. And so the fact that it's in this, my hair is bob length when it's flat iron. So the fact that it fit into this bun, girl, I'm thrilled. The fact that I ain't got no bobby pins in it to keep, I'm thrilled. That means it's growing, but we gotta rehabilitate right here. Y'all can't see it because I got enough hair to cut. It's tiny, but I noticed it. I said, now wait a minute now. Hold up. I'm way off track. We got 2 Ask Z's today. We have 2 Ask Z's, and honestly, I may have an ask for my reason. So stay tuned. Y'all want to hear a conspiracy theory? Do you want to hear a conspiracy theory? So, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. It really actually might just be a theory and not so much a racket. It just might be an early arrival to an unfortunate truth. But my friend was like, you know why Trump ain't paying the SNAP benefits, right? Mind you, we're going to get into that because I just saw breaking news. Again, remember, it's Sunday. So by the time y'all see this, we may be way past it. But I just saw breaking news that the government might be opening back up. They might be ending the shutdown. We're going to talk about it in just 2 seconds. Not 2 seconds, literally. But my friend was like, you know why Trump ain't paying the SNAP benefits? And I was like, yeah, because he's unreasonable, because he's evil, because he's obstructive, because he's stupid, because he don't care. She was like, well, while all of that is very true, she was like, you forgot one other thing. I was like, what? She was like, he's a thief. I said, huh? And I wasn't like, huh? Like, he ain't no thief. I was like, huh? Explain. You got my attention, girl. Keep it coming. She said, girl, they ain't got that reserve. He done stole all that money. Him and all of his co-conspirators, they done stole all that money. That money ain't there. And I said, girl, that ain't hard to. And this friend, she be saying, wow. Everything that come out her mouth, it's like she my same friend who be warning me about everything, but also she always on the far deep end. I be like, I'm not saying her name because I know some of y'all that listen to this show, y'all might also know her too. But she know, because I say this to her face. I be like, girl, you got to come back. You way too far out for me. But it made sense to me because I was like, yeah, when they was talking about, these ain't the right numbers, but I'm going to just say these numbers. When they was like, oh, yeah, the SNAP benefits cost $10 billion, but we only got $5 billion in the reserve. I'm like, that's easy math. That's 50%. So everybody just get 50% of their benefits. And there you go. Like, that's very easy math. I don't understand what the problem is. She said, girl, that bank account on E. I said, Speaking of which, I just saw news. And so by the time you guys are watching this, we should be further along. But as of 7:49 Pacific time, lawmakers, according to USA Today, lawmakers reached deal to end government shutdown. It was the first time in more than a month that congressional Republicans, today, Sunday, November 9th, it is the 40th day of the shutdown. It was the first time in more than a month that the congressional Republicans succeeded in persuading a sizable number of their colleagues across the aisle, so Democrats, to join them in supporting a shutdown or off-ramp. From Washington, the Senate began voting Sunday night on a deal to end the longest ever U.S. government shutdown amid mounting pressure for Congress to act as Americans cope with withheld food stamps and canceled flights weeks before the holiday. Now, y'all already told y'all last week before the holidays, but I already did that last week, right? The breakthrough came when a group. It's like, why isn't the sentence and canceled flights? Withheld food stamps and canceled flights as Americans have to pay higher costs and need to travel for work, and they're also having a hard time providing food for families. Anyway. The breakthrough came when a group of Senate Democrats relented from their long-held policy demands involving health care and struck an agreement with the congressional Republicans and President Donald Trump's White House. At least 8 Democrats have, I'm reading fast because it's like y'all could look this up yourself. And like I said, by the time, whatever, at least 8 Democrats have signaled they'll vote in favor of the negotiated deal, which includes reversal of federal layoffs. So that means everybody that was furloughed. At my show in West Nyack, there was a young lady at my show who was a furloughed federal employee. And so, girl, I hope you're watching this. And she was also a veteran. So she was like, girl, I'm a veteran. I'm good. And I was like, but are you though? Because I hear that they don't be taking care of the veterans either. So don't be, I know y'all be like, I come to your city and I interact with you and I leave and I forget y'all. I really don't. Sometimes I don't remember the whole scope of it. You get what I'm saying? But like little pieces of y'all, I got with me all the time. So just know that in the same way that like, you know, well, let me relax, because some of y'all got parasocial relationships with me and I don't want to say anything to promote that relationship. Okay. As much as I love y'all and appreciate the support, but I have to set and make you all aware, as much as supportive as you are, I have to make you aware and enforce boundaries, okay? Because I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and that's how people, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I can't be Eminem and somebody out there being Stan. We can't have that, okay? As much as I would like all of the success that Eminem has, we cannot have no Stans out there. Having your girlfriend and she pregnant with your child in the back seat dead, and we can't have that because you a fan. Cause you think you know me. We can't have that. Cause I'm your friend in your head. We cannot have that. Now you mad at me and real mad at me, like personally mad. No, we can't have that. Anyway. At least 8 Democrats have signaled, I've read that already, as promised to vote for future expiring Obamacare subsidies and fully opening the government through January 30th. Now, so the timeline. This week, proposals to reopen the government will start to work their way through both chambers of Congress. So proposals. You know, it's like they're going to put a headline out like government shutdown over, but it's like that's what y'all said about the ceasefire. That's what y'all see, here's the thing with this presidency. It be a lot of talk. It's like I hear you, but I don't see you or feel you. But I hear you. You saying a lot, but it's like I don't really see the stuff happening. You said that it wasn't going to be you said that a lot of costs was going to come down, but it just seems like they're going up. You said that the Palestinians was going to be able to go back home, everybody, but you said that there was going that Putin was going to leave Ukraine alone, and he still, and Zelensky is still over there like, y'all still don't like my outfit? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever. This week, proposals to reopen the government will start to work. Again, this is Sunday night, like 10-something Eastern time. And then by Thanksgiving, which is the last Thursday of November, congressional leaders have indicated that the shutdown will be over by the holiday. Sunday's agreement made that assertion much more likely. Second week of December, the Senate will hold a vote on extending expiring Obamacare subsidies. It's unclear if such a measure will pass. That's the problem. January 30th, the short-term funding measure lawmakers plan to pass this week would turn the government's lights back on until January 30th. So guess what? This sounds to me, with the current leadership, that this is just going to be something we're going to revisit on January 30th. Speaking of which, and then we're going to do the Ask These, and I'm going to get up out of here. I think, you know how like I'll write a bunch of stuff down that I want to talk about, and then I'll be like, oh no. You know what I do want to talk about though? Tell me if I'm unreasonable, y'all. When my matcha drinkers out there, I don't know. I be trying to make matcha in my house. It don't hit the same when I make it in my house. And for some reason, as much as I can make a chai in my house, a chai latte, and I know the Browns in the audience are like, can you please stop saying chai latte? It's redundant. Here's the thing. I hear you, but it is quite different. Like when I make a chai latte and then when I go to like an Indian restaurant and they bring me a chai, it'd be different than the chai latte I make. And so I don't know if we've probably bastardized it here. You know what I'm saying? We've appropriated your food culture. I'm so sorry. Indian food is my favorite. It's like one of my favorite cuisines ever. And I know we don't be saying, but whatever it is called, I know that when I make a chai latte in my house, meaning when I make the chai tea and then I steam my almond milk and then pour the almond milk, that tastes very different than when I be at an Indian restaurant and they be like, you want a chai? I'll be like, yeah, of course I want a chai. But this chai ain't my chai latte. Anyway, when I make my chais at home, they be bussing, but they be hot. And when I make my espresso, when I make my lattes, my flat whites, whatever, I make them hot. For some reason, I cannot make an iced drink in my house. Like an iced caffeinated drink, I just cannot make that it just don't hit the same. I don't know if it's because I ain't got a plastic cup. I don't know if it's about the right ice. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just don't hit the same. It also don't really feel right. Like it's something about, you know what I like a iced caffeinated drink when I'm on the go. And so if I got an iced drink and I'm just sitting in my house, it don't really feel, it's like you on a couch, you comfortable. Have a warm drink, Anywho, I tend to prefer, if I'm going to go hot or cold, I tend to prefer a matcha latte. I tend to prefer that iced, which I definitely don't be making in my house. But even when I make the hot matcha latte in my house, like the temperature is hot, it don't hit the same for some reason. It's kind of like after 2 sips, I'll be like, what is this? And I be doing everything. I got the whole matcha kit. I be sifting it. You know what I'm saying? Be putting it through the strainer. You know what I'm saying? Heating up the little 2 ounces of hot liquor. You know what I'm saying? I be doing all of that. I follow the instructions. I be trying to make it like, you know what I'm saying? And it just don't be hitting the same. Anyway, I realize that I am very particular. Even when I'm getting my drinks in the street. Let me tell you. And I not only am I particular, but I am, at this point, I think I am protesting because I just be canceling the order and then I walk out. I went to this place, this matcha place. First of all, I believe I said this on this podcast, or maybe I did it on Honest Tea with Z, I can't remember. But my absolute favorite matcha place, which was in Harvard Heights, closed. And I wasn't even able to like go have like a closing matcha, because it closed during Ramadan. And so it's like a day cafe. So I never even knew. And it was like 2 years ago, after Ramadan was the day of the Eid, I was like, all I want is an iced strawberry, because they used to cut the strawberry right there in front of you, muddle it, but you like make it right there and have it fresh, like strawberry puree that they made every day. They used to have it right there for you. And I used to have these young Korean, I believe they were Korean. I know they were Korean. Young Korean kind of kids who owned this. And by young, I just mean like I'm probably like in their early 20s. And I used to just have conversations with them. We would talk about comedy. We would talk about all different stuff. And the reason why we was able to have those long conversations is because they would be taking their time making the matchas single batched. I think I even made a video. I would have drank 3 matchas a day if the matchas wasn't $10. You know what I'm saying? But I used to be like I love that place. I miss that place. I'm so sad that they had to close up shop, Anywho, I found this other place near my 2 places. Like the neighborhood I live in, is that got really great. Like I said, in my stand, I live in like a changing neighborhood. So there's like these great coffee shops and cafes and things like that in and around my neighborhood, and new ones popping up every couple of months, and there's a few near me, and I don't live far from like Koreatown. And first of all, this is going to sound so prejudicial. This is, so forgive me for all my non Asians and like non-South Asians, all of my East Asians, you know what I'm saying? And specifically Koreans. my non-Koreans, my non-East Asians, I don't really want a matcha. Like, here's the thing. White lady, you may be really nice. And I'm sure that you went and studied in Korea to learn how to make the best matcha. I do not want your matcha. Black lady, I love you. I love you, lady. I love you. I'm going to buy something else from your business. I'm going to buy something else. I'm going to get the croissant. I'm going to get the coffee. I'm going to get the latte. I'm going to get the tea. I'm going to get everything you got. I'm going to get the banana pudding. I'm going to get everything you got. Okay? But I'm not going to get the matcha because I like my matchas to be made by East Asian people. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But here's the thing. It gets deeper. I'll order something else from your coffee shop. So I don't care what your ethnic makeup is. You could be Spanish. You could be, South Asian. So you could be Indian, Pakistan. You could be Arabic. You could be Arab. You could be Persian. You could be African. You can be African American. You can be everything. You be everything. I'll buy everything else from you. I'll buy kombucha. I'll buy sparkling water. I'll buy coffee. I'll buy tea. I'll buy orange fresh juice. I'll buy all that stuff from you. But my matchas, I need the East Asians. And I always prefer it to be, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't drink sake, but if I wanted sake, I'm going to the Japanese. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When I want matcha, I be really wanting it to be, I just be wanting a Korean, you know what I'm saying? There's a place in New York, it's viral, so the line be long, and it's a matcha place in Times Square. I be like, because this place is viral and there's always a line outside, I bet you the stuff is not that good. It is. It is. And it be a girl. It don't matter who running the operation. The cashier be a white boy. The girl taking your order for the donuts and the drinks be a black girl. But back there making the matchas be this little Asian lady. And by little, I just mean she's very petite. It be this little Asian lady measuring it, whisking it, and I just be watching her. And I've had it so many times. I have gotten it from my siblings when we was in New York. When I was last in New York, my sister said, who also drinks a lot of matchas, she was like, "Damn, this is good." I said, anyway, I was at this place, two places. They going viral now. It's a lot of people. And here's the thing. God, what are we talking about this episode? When I walk into a cafe, like a matcha place, they specifically specialize in matcha. If I see a lot of Koreans there, I'll be like, this the place. You know what I'm saying? It's the same place. If I go to a Jamaican restaurant and we've been talking about Jamaica a lot. But just an example, if I go to an African place and I see a bunch of people from that particular country eating, I'm like, this the place. It's certain food. I'm so sorry. I don't really eat soul food that often. I didn't grow up eating soul food. I liked soul food. It was like a treat. I would have it at like my one particular friend when I was in high school. I loved eating her mom's cooking. I would eat it Thanksgiving because that was never happening in my house. My mother used to be like, you know what I'm saying? My father used to be like, bring a plate back for me. I used to love going over my friend's house, this particular friend during Thanksgiving. And I remember one year I went over there early in the day and her mom taught me how to make the greens and blah, 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 blah. I don't remember much of it, but I remember that experience. I remember her taking the time and teaching me. And anyway, but I don't really eat that much soul food. It's rare that I eat soul food. Even when people be suggesting vegan soul food, that's never really what I'm looking for. When I be like, y'all recommend a restaurant when I get to your city, I don't ever really be looking for that type of food, right? But one day, my friend and I in LA, I don't know, we used to go hiking every Sunday, and she was like, you know what I'm craving? I was like, what? She was like, some soul food. And I'm like, cool. You know a place? She was like, yeah, this place has really good reviews. It's on, I think it was on Fairfax or something like that. I can't remember the name of the place, but I remember that day because my friend Tabitha, her stuff had just came out for Target, and I remember I had on the sunglasses and I had on a dress. They had just came out for Target, and this girl came up to me and was like, oh my God, do you are you wearing Tabitha Brown stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, that's my friend. And she was like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. She was like, I was trying to get, we went to all the Targets. We was trying to get those sunglasses and we couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, you can have these sunglasses. I'll just get another pair from Tabitha. Blah, 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 blah. So that's why I remember that day, because when I did that, that made that woman's day. Like and then I didn't realize somebody else who like knew me for my stand-up, but also knew, you know, my friend from all of her like online influencing, right? They had videoed it and put the video online, like, oh, look at Zainab, blah, 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 being, but anyway, this soul place. So if y'all know that video, and here's the thing, I'm not trying to disparage this restaurant, Cause I'm not the person that should give you the review of this restaurant anyway, because it ain't my type of food anyway, right? So, you know, if I'm saying that I like something that I generally don't like or don't eat, that mean, in my opinion, it's the best it's ever gonna get, right? So as soon as we walk in, we look into see what we gonna order, right? This big white lady come up to us. Big white lady, you could tell she been around you could tell she be around black culture, and but she came right up to us and was like, yep, this is my restaurant, I'm the cook, and I know, but she addressed it. She was like, you know, I know you like, what can this white, you know, what's this white lady know about soul food? But let me tell you, I put my foot in it, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I know that spiel work on everybody. I know they be like, okay, white lady, let me tell, okay, yams. I know that work on everybody. And I was smiling at her. In my mind, I said, this food about to be terrible. This food about to be terrible. And let me tell y'all, that food was so expensive. We probably paid about $35 each for, like, I don't know, a soul food dinner or something. Like a takeaway dinner. Not like sit down restaurant. Maybe even more than that. And it was a lot of food, I will admit. Like, I think my friend got like a turkey leg. It was a lot of food. I can't even remember what I got. Maybe I got there's no way I got meat, of course. But what did I get? Anyway, I can't even remember. Probably just vegetables and yams and stuff. I don't know. Y'all, I ain't eat none of that food. I tasted one bite. I said, my friend said, you're not going to eat none of it? I said, no, I'll see if some like a unhoused person wants it. And she was like, she said, you are interesting. And I was like, I'll get something else to eat. She was like, what you gonna eat? I was like, I'll figure it out. Like, I was like, but I'm not trying to ruin your experience. Like, completely enjoy your food. You know, it was like I was trying to drink the drink, but the drink was like diabetic. So I was just sitting. I was like, no, enjoy your food. You know what I'm saying? And she ate her food, and I was like, you know, I'm not trying to mess up your experience. It's very easy for me. Just get something else. I'll grab something to go. I'll grab something from somewhere else to go. And I was like, you enjoying it? And she was like, it's all right. She never went back to that place. But I just knew. This is all to say. I just knew. I knew when that big white lady came talk about, I know you like, what this white lady know about this soul food? It's like, I ain't got no problem with her as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, white lady, do your thing. But in my mind, I knew it ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. Anywho, so when I went to these matcha places, the first place I went to, 5-star reviews, everything, right? Or maybe like 4.7 or something like that. But you know, right? Line out the door. I get there. $9 for the matcha. Okay. I live in California. Okay. $9 for the matcha. Okay, you charging me for a different nut milk, although nut milk costs a third of the price of cow milk. But okay. I'm used to this. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to this by now, right? When I saw the $9 matcha, because I'm thinking you're going to be whisking it in front of me. I'm thinking you making single batch. I look, when my matcha came out real quick, I said, I'm sorry, how was this made? And then she tried to tell me, she was like, oh yeah, you know, like we whisk the matcha. But I said, I know, but do you make a single batch or she was like, oh no. She was like, we get too much business. Like if we made a single batch, it would take forever. I thought that's what the $9 was for, because it's time consuming. Because it's laborious, is that the word? Laborious? I thought that's why it was $9. Why do it cost $9 then? if not for the fact that it takes time to do it. Okay, I get you using high quality matcha, you're using ceremonial grade matcha. So, okay, $6. But what's the $9 if you've cut down the process? The ain't part of drinking see, here's the thing. You know, part of like certain like cuisines and drinks and things like that are tied to cultures. Sometimes, a lot of times it's not what you're eating, but it's how you're eating, which is why a couple of months back, I was in Chicago doing some shows, and I ordered Uber Eats. I ordered from this Ethiopian restaurant that I like. Whenever I'm in Chicago, a lot of times I order Uber Eats from this Ethiopian restaurant. I'm going to get the angetta, and I'm going to be eating the way I ain't about to be eating the Ethiopian food with a knife and a fork. No, that's not how you eat it. You eat it how they eat it. You got to eat it. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to. With the African food, you gotta make sure your hands is clean. That's why they be dipping their hands in water all the time. Make sure you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Now, I did realize that it had completely messed up my manicure. It took my gel manicure from white to green. But we not even gel life no more. We completely natural. We halal hands now. Whoa, what? So yeah, I'm gonna need you to be whisking it. If you're not whisking the matcha in front of me, this matcha is $5.50. If you're not whisking the matcha in front of me, am I the only one? Let me know, y'all. Let me know. Speaking of Muslims, yo, we up. The Muslims is up. If it's up and it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. I'm just kidding, because it's like, there's no up in faith. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, anybody faithful, anybody that believes in God, by way of whatever, anybody that then you want everyone to believe in God. Ain't nobody like you dumb over the, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the purpose. We want everybody to have good and decent, you know what I'm saying, and peace in their hearts, right? But this girl did this video. It's like first Mandani and then this. I'm going to just let y'all watch it. Here it is. I sped it up because it's kind of a long video, so I sped it up.
I don't really have any resources to do that right now. The account where I have to give to community members.
No, we don't help with Fomula at all. Have you talked to anybody like at CCC?
Yeah, I've been calling everywhere all day.
Oh, okay. We are a small church, and as a result, we have limited funds, and so we tend to help those that are part of the church or come to the church. We're going to be there.
Because there's people that are right around you, local.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. We really don't have an estimated time just because we do receive a lot of requests here. Each applicant is different. It can take a couple days. It can take a couple weeks. We really just don't have a time frame there.
Okay. You said it would take a couple days to weeks?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if approved. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we don't have formula or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. That's all we have right now.
I haven't ate all day, and I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we don't have cash here, and I'm not in control of finances.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that's our on our list. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. You too. All even other churches.
Yeah. I wish I had something for you, ma'am. I'm very sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay. Well, and we don't have anything either. So I'm sorry. I wish I had something to offer you. Is there any?
Out since last night, so I don't know what else to do.
I'm so sorry. We don't have any here.
Then you all could get, and I could just pick it up.
No.
I don't. Not that I know of. No, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Well, they just sent me back and forth to people, and then sent me to a voicemail. And get just a can of formula for it, because she's been going without all night and all day, and I don't know what else to do or who to go to.
I understand, but the only food items that we have in the food pantry are non-perishables, but I don't believe they have anything there for infants.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Can I?
What you mean, a baby formula?
Yeah, I have a.
You want somebody to give you some money or something?
No, I just need the formula. I have a 2-month-old, and she ran out last night, so she's went all night and all day without formula.
Yeah, we don't have any formula here for not baby. No, we have a kitchen, but we don't have milk.
Okay. Is there any way y'all could just get a can and I could pick it up?
No, I don't know. We don't have time to do that because we don't.
They might be able to assist. They have more resources than we do.
Okay.
Let me
let me get in touch with the ladies at the weigh station and see. They might
all day without anything to eat.
We don't have any formula around, darling. I'm sorry. None. No diapers, anything for babies. We don't have any.
Could that be something you all could get and I could just pick it up?
No, we can't right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. The help with baby formula at all?
We unfortunately are not. We have a benevolent. Yeah, we're included in that, not because we want to be, but we've been struggling with a whole bunch of things since the Obama-Biden regime took over. I'm trying to think. Have you called the company a little deal called Catholic Charities?
Yeah.
Did they have any?
Well, we have 4 here. So which one of our campuses do you go to? Do you attend one of our campuses?
I don't attend, no. I'm just local.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. Did you try Mercy's Gate?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any way to help you with that. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Do you have a moment? Sorry, just 1 second. Yeah, Trevor, like somebody can answer. So I didn't know if you could just let me know if it's something that y'all could do.
I'm not aware of any programs that we have like that to help you.
They give a church and they won't even help somebody that can work. That's so sad.
So how much do you need? I need to know about that.
I'm not sure. I think I usually have, I think it's maybe $17 at Walmart. I mean, if y'all could just get the formula, I could pick it up or have somebody come get it.
Well, I'm an officer. I never myself. I'll see if I can get somebody to do this.
Okay.
We can do this. I'll just see. Tell me what it is called in case I have to go get it because I'm a great grandpa. I'm not used to picking up formula. Okay. What's it called?
Good Start.
Good Start. And
Sir. Sir.
It's for infants.
Yes, sir.
Infants formula. Is any flavor, anything to it, or just?
No, sir. Hey, can I?
How much does the formula usually cost?
Just like $20. It's like the small one.
Okay. Do you know where we're located?
No, I don't. Okay, can I pause you really quick? If they could help before I come out there.
Just call me. If they don't have baby food, I'll give you $10 from my pocket, and you'll buy some.
Okay, that's so sweet. Okay, actually, this is actually a social experiment to baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? You live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
Okay. And what kind of formula do you use?
It's the Good Start.
Good Start. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. If you come over here, we'll help you.
Okay. Hold on, just.
If I give you something, you could purchase it. You could go to a grocery store.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. I gotta turn my baby off. Okay, so this is actually a social experiment that I'm doing to test.
Okay. The churches, I feel bad. I don't feel bad for the church, but the church is having a hard time right now. So this woman decided to do a social experiment, right? She decided to do a social experiment because, a lot of churches preach pro-life. And so the girl's like, well, if you so pro-life, a lot of the argument against pro-life in this particular country be like, well, it's very interesting that you're fighting to, that you believe you're advocating rather for the life of this fetus. But then once this fetus is actually a living human being, you want to cut the SNAP benefits. You don't want it to have health insurance. You know what I'm saying? You want to make education and a good life unattainable for the family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you pro-life or right? And so she was sort of, one thing you don't want is a white lady with a lot of time on her hand. I'm telling you, it can either be used for the greatest good or the deepest deceit. Do you get what I'm saying? It's no other group of women. But a white woman with too much time, she can have a little time, but too much time. And my white girls, y'all know, it's true. Y'all know I mess with y'all, but it's just when y'all can't have too much time. If a white lady got extra time, you gotta hope that she is on the side of good. You have to hope. Y'all seen that documentary? I've been watching a lot of documentaries, although this one I couldn't watch. It was too sad. But the the Neighbor documentary. With the crazy white lady kept calling the cops. Too much time. When a white lady specifically, or a lady that believes in her head that she is aligned with whiteness. You know what I'm saying? A lady of other cultures, but in her mind, she believes that she is aligned with whiteness. If she got too much time on her hand, you gotta hope that her soul is that she's in pursuit of equality. She's in pursuit of good. She's in pursuit of helping others. You got to hope that her heart ain't dark. You got to hope that she ain't jealous and insecure if she got too much time on her hand. You know what I'm saying? This lady was like, you know what? We're going to do a social experiment. So she had, you know what I'm saying? You see it? She had the whole accoutrement, set the scene, baby crying in the background, fake baby crying in the background. Had the baby crying, called around to churches. Called around the churches and was like, hey, we don't got no formula. Can you donate formula? If you can't donate formula, can you just go buy it? Because they was like, so what, you want money? You guys heard it, right? I sped it up, but y'all, you can find that. I'll just include the link. And if you want to watch it in real time, feel free, right? I'm like, is this low-key entrapment? Anyway, so she called a bunch of churches and they was like, no, we can't help you. We can't help you. We can't help you. Then one Catholic church, the man, he sounded so sweet. He was like, I mean, I don't know if we can help you, but I'm a grandfather. If I got to go buy to give you the money myself for you to get formula, we're going to get you some formula, right? And so it's like the Catholic church, they got a new priest, you know what I'm saying? They got a new priest, not a priest, you know what I'm saying? They don't really like to publicize it, but y'all know he had black from Chicago. So maybe the Catholic church, you know what I'm saying? And they've been having a, you know what I'm saying, rehabilitate their image because all of them other men that had violated them little boys for so many years. You get what I'm saying? So they probably, you know what I'm saying? Although also that man was just probably like, he just tapped into empathy. Like, that's a baby crying in the background. I'm a grandfather. If somebody did that to if my grandchild was in need like that, I hope that somebody would feed. I hope that somebody would help. He had just tapped into empathy. And sometimes, you know, empathy is easier to access when you, I mean, it's exactly the word, empathy, right? You know exactly what the person is going through. You can put yourself in their shoes. The one place that she called and was like, yeah, no problem. When you need to, she called the mosque. She called the masjid. They said, the baby is crying. You need formula? When can you come? Of course, we got formula. Come get it. What do you need? What do you need? Yeah, we got you. Come on down. Listen, as a country, it's time to take Shahada. Ashadu? Ashadu? It's like, okay, so let me, because I don't want nobody in here that, you know what I'm saying, feels like their religion is being attacked. Because obviously we can point out the good and the bad in different places of every religious place. And I actually don't think, as much as I'm Muslim and it is in the best interest of me and my narrative and it would be very easy to be like, yeah, because Muslims, you know what I'm saying? That's Islam. Islam is peace. Islam is love, which it is. It is. But we're all human beings. And so it is beautiful. It is beautiful to know that I also identify with the person on the other end of the phone call that was like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say whether they had to get it. He like, come on down. We're going to help you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's something that is affirming in that. There's something really comforting in that. There's something really inspiring in that. But also, I'm not going to be like, see, the Christians is getting a bad rap. Just a week or 2 weeks ago, the church rather, not Christians, the church. A bad rap. Just like 2 weeks ago with a pastor, the lady tried to give $1,200 and he was like, don't nobody want your $1,200. I asked for $2,000. I know God was like, well, now hold up. Could you imagine if you was in need? If you was in need and you was like, okay, so we got to raise $5,000. And it was people in line talking about, I only got $22. I got $1. And your person was like, nope, we need $5,000. We need $5,000. And at the end of the day, you like, damn, we didn't make our goal. And then the person is like, and they like, yeah, nobody came with $5,000. They kept coming with $22 and $3 and $5. And you like, well, how many people came with $22? That would $22 times. That would have gave us $5,000. It wasn't that simple. I'm oversimplifying it. Just for the sake of like a good time. But all that to say, the church is having a hard time right now. And the comments of the video are hilarious. They said every day is Eid. First comment is that, mind you, these are the same people protesting at the abortion clinic. I think her experiment showed us that if we donate to food banks, we should maybe have these food banks stocked up by baby formula since the churches are useless. And somebody showed a picture of one of the churches that said no, and it's Joel Osteen's mansion. But it's like, we can't be surprised by that. That was like during Katrina where he ain't let nobody in, right? Somebody said, who's reporting these churches today? The church was having a hard time. The church is getting beat up in the comments. People saying this is so eye-opening. I think, okay, so like the reality is that it's very possible for a church, regardless of the size of the church, to not have baby formula. It's also possible for, it's also possible that if she would have called the same amount of, like, let's say she called 10 churches and they all say, let's say she called 10 churches and the 11th church was that Catholic church that said yes. And then she called one mosque and the first mosque said yes. But let's say she called 10 more mosques, 10 more, it's very, I don't be saying mosque. I know that's like the general way to say it, but masjids. Let's say she called 10 more masjids and then they all said no. That's the thing about like kind of like a numbers game, right? It's like if you increase the pool, then the odds change, right? Now, I love to believe that if she called every masjid, they're going to be like, yeah, come on down. We're going to get you whatever. You can't have no baby. You can't have no 2-month-old starving. I mean, what's happening? I also do sort of understand the like the prioritizing your congregation, like to a certain degree. I do understand that. But the thing that's sort of like sad about this particular result, like these social experiment results is, and they don't know. So this is like truly how they are, right? They don't know. She reveals to them at the end of it that it's a social experiment, right? And so we have to assume that that's how they're truly operating, right? Is that there was no try in it. There was no like, yeah, it was like, even when she was like, even with the one person, it was like, well, yeah, there's like a process, there's like a protocol. It's like, okay, we understand the protocol because, like we understand that there's a protocol. Like maybe people can't show up. Maybe it's like if people can just show up and take stuff, then all of the people that you are servicing every week, like where's the right? So it's like we understand that, but then the girl who's doing the experiment, she's like, okay, so you said it'll be like a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and the lady reiterated like that's if we're able to do something for you. It was just like really sort of like the way the unwillingness was a bit deafening. You know what I'm saying? The sort of like lack of try was like somebody call Jesus and get your people right. But the Muslims is up. If it's up, then it's up. Then it's up. Then it's okay. That's it. That's it. Cause we already. I wanted to talk about the trans thing though, in the bathroom. All right, this is the time where I tell you guys where you can see me. This week, tonight, if you're listening to this episode on Wednesday, tonight I am in New York City. I am at the Village Underground. That is part of the Comedy Cellar. It's the Village Underground on West 3rd Street. I am doing a storytelling show with Yamanika Saunders, Chloe Hilliard, and Amina Imani. This is a storytelling show called The Hike. It is a part of the New York Comedy Festival. The show is at 6 p.m. tonight. So if you can make it, you can make it, you can make it. Come on down. Then Thursday through Saturday this week, and Thursday through Saturday, I will be in Houston, Texas. I will be at the Punchline in Houston, Texas. Make sure you get your tickets if you're in Houston or surrounding areas and you don't have your tickets yet. I would love to see you. Then after that, I will be in Detroit, Michigan, November 21st and 22nd, Detroit, Michigan. After that, I will be in Addison. I'll be back in Texas, but in Addison. That's the Dallas area, December 5th through the 7th. December 5th through the 7th, I will be at the Addison Improv. And then December 12th and 13th, I will be in Dayton, Kentucky, which is the Cincinnati area. That is December 12th and 13th. I will be in Dayton, Kentucky, at a venue called the Commonwealth Sanctuary. And then to wrap things up, I will be in Miami. Now, I know last week I was like, I'm going to be in Miami the 28th through the 30th. Well, they done added another night. They done added, why it took me so hard to say it? They done added another night. So I will be headlining for the first time ever. I ain't never performed at this club. I have never performed like outside of like a competition and like a corporate event. I have never headlined in Miami, Florida. So I'll be at the Miami Improv Friday, December 26th, and then Sunday through Tuesday, December 28th through the 30th. So Friday, December 26th, 2 shows, and then December 28th, to December 29th, and December 30th. Okay. So if you are in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, any of those surrounding areas, and you want to come and have some fun and see some stand up, please get your tickets. The link is in the details of this podcast. And of course, you can go to my website, Zainab Johnson, and get those tickets. All right, let's get back to the show. Why the churches are responding? I just took a second because I was about to talk about the trans incident at the gym in the locker room where the lady had walked in and it was, but I ain't even got time to do that. But the pastors are responding, but they not making it better. They not somebody get Jesus on the main line. Somebody get Jesus on the main line, and I ain't being funny now. I mean, true. They making it worse. The white pastor said, verbatim, the white pastor said, it's Muslims, the masjid, it's their duty to be charitable. What did he say? He said Muslims are obligated to give. It's true, but so are Christians. He said Muslims are obligated to give, churches are not, Christians are not. That's the wrong answer to this social experiment. That is not the answer to this social experiment. And then the black pastor from, I think, Living Faith Church, he said, he said it ain't our problem. He said, you got a baby, you go down to the WIC office. WIC, even pulled it up on a PowerPoint presentation on a projector screen. He said, now y'all hear me now, say amen to the WIC office. He said, but it ain't our problem, it's the WIC office. Then he said she was a demon and called her a witch. This is not helping the kid. He called her a TikTok demon and a witch. We have to, all right, let's get into these Ask Z's. Let's get into the Ask Z's. Like I said, I have 2. Okay, so our first Ask Z comes from Ashley Graham, and this is actually her real name, and you'll see at the end why I'm choosing not to make her anonymous. So the Ask Z reads, my name is Ashley, and I've been a part of the I'm Reasonable gang since the very first episode. Thank you. Thank you so much. I discovered your podcast on YouTube and haven't missed an episode since. I've also watched your Hijabs Off special, and I love catching the comedy bits you post. Thank you. I'll keep this short. I just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan and have a deep respect for you and your art and your ability to always stay reasonable. Girl, I try. I be out here unreasonable as fuck though. Like today, I was probably unreasonable and reasonable all at the same time. I booked a manicure and a pedicure, right? I don't do gels and stuff no more. I'm keeping it all natural. Like I said, halal, right? And this ain't about me. Let me get back to the Ask Z. It's something I try to practice in my own life every day. Good. Me too. Me too. We on this journey together. Now, this isn't exactly a typical Ask Z, but I suppose it could count as one since I do have an ask. I hope this doesn't come across as unreasonable, but desperate times call for desperate measures, I suppose. My family in Jamaica. That's just me. She didn't write it in any special way. She just wrote Jamaica like she wrote any other word in this Ask Z. My family in Jamaica, including my father and my two younger sisters. Including my father and my two younger sisters, recently lost everything in Hurricane Melissa. Their home included. I've created a GoFundMe page to help them rebuild and start over. The damage is extensive, and I've attached some photos for reference. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. Regardless of the outcome, you'll always have a forever fan in me. Warm regards, Ashley Graham. Here I'm including the pictures and the video that she sent me in this email. Then she sent another email and said, I said all of that and completely forgot to attach the link just in case you are able to help. And so it's a GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe to help her family in the Graham family rebuild in Jamaica after their home was destroyed by Hurricane Melissa. And I know it's tight. It's tight. People being laid off, people, you know what I'm saying? This is somebody in the comments on last week's episode, and I completely understood, was like, thank you so much for educating me, or making me aware, rather, making me aware of what's happening in Sudan. But like, I'm having such a hard time here. I don't even know if I have the bandwidth to then look at other nations and be like, what can I do? What can I do? And I completely understand that. And I also think that that's by design. That is another way for the powers that be to keep us divided, to keep us so starved that we can't even look at another person's dire situation and be able to help, because we having a hard time helping ourselves and helping the people that are right in front of us, you know? So I understand that this might be a huge ask, but there may be somebody out there that can help and has a little bit of, maybe you can send some kind words. Maybe you know somebody in Jamaica that can help, or you have anything to donate to this GoFundMe. So with Ashley's family, I'm putting the GoFundMe. It's a $5,000 goal. As of today, Sunday, they've raised $2,110 of it. I donated, and I encourage you, if you're able to, in the same way that I encourage you to, donate if you can to humanitarian services that are, humanitarian organizations that are providing services to, people in Sudan, people in Tanzania, people in Haiti, people in Gaza, people, you know what I'm saying? Like people right here in the US who need baby formula, if you have the capacity, if you have the bandwidth, if you have the ability to help, then the information is in the details of this podcast. It's a link. Click on it. I'm sure Ashley and her family will greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. The second Ask Z comes from our resident Reason. She was a moderator. She's very active in the chat. She be making flyers for me, for my show dates. She goes above and beyond. She is very much appreciated, as you all are. All I ask is for you to subscribe, like, and share. You know what I'm saying? All the free stuff. If you do anything after that, then you are a blessing. You are a blessing to me. But Shanaria is very, very active, and I appreciate her. And she sent in an Ask Z. Let me just find it. This Ask Z has to do with dating. Ask Z. Hey, Zainab, I wanted to ask your thoughts about the dating pool these days. Do you think there's an unspoken feud between men and women right now, or what? I've been single for a few years now, but most of my friends are also finding themselves on meaningless dates in non-progressive relationships or giving up on the male species altogether. I know you travel a lot, so I wonder if you've seen this as a more regional issue or if we are all possibly in a world of trouble relationally. Also, congratulations on 2K from your 100,000 subscribers. Hopefully everyone watching today subscribes so they can be notified for the 100,000 plaque party. Thanks for reading. All right, so let's take this step by step. Hey girl, hey. Do you think there's an unspoken feud between men and women right now? I think it seems like it. And I think it's because we get these sort of like really obtuse conversations on social media. We get the ginger, the black ginger guy in London talking about this, and this is why I don't date black women, like stuff like that. We get a lot of stories where it's like, let me tell you about this horrible date that I had. A male, it could be a guy talking about it, men tell those stories and women tell those stories. It's very hard for me to say, is there a feud between men and women? Because I don't let the podcasters of the world, as much as I'm talking to you guys on a podcast, I don't let the podcasters of the world, I don't let the deceased Kevin Samuels of the world, I don't let any of those people dictate my world views. I allow my worldview. My worldviews are informed by what I am seeing right in front of me. That is what I know to be true. And my interactions are, there is a miseducation. And so we need a re-education of how to treat one another. What are expectations? A lot has changed. We seek we have traditional expectations in a non-traditional space, or rather the traditions have evolved in such a way that it don't make sense. What is expected of a man? And we're not talking about masculinity and femininity, but what is the role of a man and a woman has to have changed, and therefore in dating should change, because remember when we was getting together from partnership, marriage, etc., right? If that's the goal, especially, it's remember when women ain't have no rights? Remember when women was just property? Remember when we ain't had pockets, we ain't have jobs, nothing? Yeah, of course, my expectations of how I showed up for I ain't even have education. Only thing they taught me was how to cook, clean, take care of a kid, tend to maybe some land, make sure that I look nice. That's all they taught me. So that's all that was expected of me. But now we're lawyers, we're doctors, we're mothers, we're a combination of all of these things. We're athletes, we're teachers, we're you know what I'm saying? We're engineers, we're all of these things on top of and we're nurturers, and we're friends, and we're lovers, and we're on the spectrum in terms of our identity, and we don't, you know what I'm saying? And we love who we it's so much has evolved. But still we have but still our expectations are very traditional. And I think how can that work? How can that work? But the reason why I in particular say I don't think it's specific to men versus women, because some of my friends is gay on both sides. And let me tell you, I'll be talking to the gay men and they be like, the gay men is trash. And I'll be talking to the gay girls and the gay girls be like, the gay girls is trash. That's why I go back to the people are people. And so I would say the people are feuding. I think that we're letting a lot where social media has given us a lot of options and comparisons in terms of what we believe love is, what we're looking for in terms of companionship and partnership. And we got access to a lot more people. So if there's any trash out there, if there was any trash out there before, we got access to more trash. Because like I said, when we was talking about the social experiment, you increase the numbers, you increase the probability. You know what I'm saying? And so I particularly don't believe like, God, men and women, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, because the gays is having the same hard time. They could try to fool you, but the gays, talk in the comments. Let her know. And then you say you've been single for a while now, but most of the friends are also finding themselves in meaningless dates and non-progressive relationships or giving up in the male species altogether. I know you travel a lot, so I wonder if you've ever seen this as a more regional issue, or are we all possibly in a world of trouble relationally? Now, I will say that this is not regional, in my opinion. Everywhere I have been in the world, do you get what I'm saying? Northern Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, the United States, like everywhere I've been. When I be talking to the audience, when I'm on that stage, and I be like, single people make some noise, and they be making some noise. I be like, how's it going? They be like, it's for the birds. You know what I'm saying? It's pee in the pool. Like everybody, it's the same answer everywhere. I don't care it's the same answer, different accent, different temperature, but the same answer. And so I don't think that it's regional. And I think that it's like, I think it's just like we are over consuming. We have access in ways to people that it's like, remember when you just met people at work? And maybe like your commute to and from school or work, or you met them in school, and maybe your close friend circle, but that's it. That's it. You're not flying to Africa to meet no husband, and it, not unless you went not unless you done paid a service. And now you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And now, oh my God, he done broke your heart and scammed you all the way from Africa. Remember when you had access to 7 men and you was like, well, let me make a decision. And I be hearing so many people like, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle. And I'm on board with that. Listen, I see so many people. I have access to so many people, and still I don't be liking nobody. And I was just, and I be going on dates, y'all, just so y'all know. I be going on dates, and not like I don't be liking nobody like they trash. It's like, oh, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. And so I have to be like, I have to be like honest with myself. The thing that really like gets me out of bed in the morning ain't like looking for a man. But I find that the people who are successful in that's what gets them out the bed in the morning. I gotta be in a relationship. That's what gets them out the bed in the morning. I gotta fill this bed to get up out this bed in the morning. For me, that's not what gets me out of the bed in the morning. What gets me out of the bed in the morning is my desire to like fellowship with people, make them laugh, and build a platform that hopefully provides some great change in this world. That's the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. And like, I hope to like experience a great love in the midst of that, but it's not what gets me out of the bed in the morning. And I have to be honest with myself about that. And because that doesn't get me out of the bed in the morning, as I move through my day, my blinders are kind of, yeah, of course you don't really like nobody like that because you're not making the effort to like nobody. That's me. I got to be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? Now that don't mean that when I do make the effort, it's like, oh, a world of like exceptional men open up to me. But I'm just saying, like, who even knows? Because I'm not even making that great of an effort. You know? And that's not to say that there isn't, you know, there isn't a disparity out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shanaria, you're a Black woman. Black women are, I've met you. I've engaged with you via social media. I've met you in person in Atlanta. You seem kind. You seem sweet. You have tenacity. You seem ambitious. You seem very smart. You seem like you go after what you want. You know, like women are accomplished these days. it's very hard to, that's another thing, even with me, like when I'm sitting across from a man, there's two things happening for me. Like, am I getting butterflies? Am I attracted? Am I like basking in his presence? Does it feel good to like have his attention? Do I want to give him my attention? You know what I'm saying? But also, does he, how is he, is he an asset? Do I view him as an asset? And that's not even me like, oh, you looking at a guy for what he got and what, no. But do I truly see him as an asset? Will he be a teacher for me in this relationship? Will he be a provider of safety and comfort? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I see, that's like something that I really, and it's very hard when you have established that yourself. I saw a post online. I'm sure I have it bookmarked somewhere, but it was of a girl. She had ran a marathon, either the New York Marathon, Boston Marathon. It was one of the marathons, London Marathon. I don't know, but it was one of the marathons. And her friend surprised her. Her friend flew wherever this girl was running a marathon. Her friend surprised her, flew to that city, was at the finish line with a sign saying, I'm proud of you, congratulations, blah, 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 blah. And as the woman is crossing the finish line, when she sees her friend, the emotion, they slow the video down, and the emotion that comes over her face, the emotion of gratitude, the emotion of like love that comes over this woman's face, they freeze frame it. And then this person comments on the video and says, this is the reason why a lot of women who experience deep levels of love in their friendships, like very fulfilling relationships in their friendships, have a hard time dating. If you are very fulfilled in your career, right? If you feel like you're having a successful career, and also you're experiencing like really deep fulfillment in your friendships, that is what the man that you're sitting across, that's the men, it's very hard to see them as valuable. Or even if you're a woman, even if you're, a lesbian, it's very hard to look across at the person in a romantic setting and see them as valuable if they're not presenting as sufficient as the relationships that you have cultivated, the platonic relationships that you have cultivated, the healthy relationships that you've cultivated within your your familial relationships, because that's the comparison. I remember years ago when I was much younger, like early 20s, and someone had did like a energy reading on me or something, and she was like, she said, you got to stop comparing. I'm talking about, this is at about 22 years old, you guys. She said, you got to stop comparing every guy to your father. And I was like, what? She said, how you feel about your father. And it's interesting because like my father didn't have in my opinion, no great career. My father wasn't, I think he had great ambition and great dreams. And his children may be the manifestation of those dreams. But like my father was in the Navy. My father worked for the MTA in New York City. Then my father managed buildings in New York City. But that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, so in my mind, I didn't think that I was doing that. And she was like, you experienced, regardless of what your siblings say, you experienced a great and deep love with your father. And you subconsciously are always looking for that. And very early, it has to reveal itself in the relationships. Very early. You have to get confirmation that they are going to be able to provide that great love that you experience with your father. Now, whether that's true or not, I keep that in my mind, like, anywho, this is getting much longer than I wanted it to get. I think that the advice that I could say is like, don't give up, because that's not the solution. While it may seem problematic and while it may be discouraging at times and tiring and you might have to kiss a couple of frogs, don't give up. If you are in the pursuit of love, in the same thing, in the same way that you're not going to give up on anything, in the same way that we don't stop breathing, when we, you know what I'm saying? In days we get tired, days that we don't feel like walking, we still get up and walk. You know what I'm saying? In the days where we're like, I done hit so many brick walls, but my desire is to become this professional, to accomplish this thing professionally. You don't give up. You have to treat love the same way. You have to treat partnership and the same way. And whether you go into it thinking this is going to be forever and it ends up being 5 weeks, 5 years, 50 years, whatever, you still have to treat it that you have to pursue it. You have to pursue it with the same passion, with the same forgiveness, with the same vulnerability, the same ambition and tenacity that you do, you know what I'm saying, that you do other things in your life. So my advice to you and your friends, even if it is hard, even if there is some feud, even if there is some disparity, even if it feels like you want to give up, don't. I answered it. In the comments, this is another one of those things where, everybody in the comments, reasons, let Shanaria know what you think. I'm over here. You might be like, I don't know what the fuck Zainab was talking about. Girl, it's crazy out here. Or girl, this where you find the mans. This where the men be at. That's it for me. This is I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is it. Until I see you guys again, please stay reasonable. And if you ain't hit the like, share, subscribe button, if you ain't do that already, bye.